everyone. Today I want to talk to you about intuition versus ego. I think this is the real classic David and Goliath that plays out in our business and personal lives in ways that we may be aware of and we might not be. So intuition versus ego. I think intuition would be like David. It is smaller generally, quieter voice, more subtle, operates in the inner whispering, that has a real sense of inner knowing, is very authentic and vulnerable. I don't think intuition, like David, needs a lot of pomp and ceremony or flash. I mean, David didn't even have armor that fit him that day, and he was willing to take on a giant with just a slingshot and a few rocks. My intuition is willing to do what's right. It's willing to soften to a moment. It's very cut and dried. I think it just has this real inner knowing and very clear sort of plumb line sense. Ego, on the other hand, I think can show up like Goliath in ways that really takes away from some of the results we're trying to create. Now, ego is not inherently wrong. I'm just going to say that right now. We need ego for a sense of identity in this world. Ego is also tied up in how we communicate and our language skills, so it's not all bad. But when ego shows up as more of a Goliath for us, it is louder, it is flashier, it is more about pomp and ceremony. It's very much external. It's about how we are perceived in the world or how we want to be. Ego tends to go to fight or flight more quickly and be defensive in the situation where it might be perceived or I might feel like I'm wrong. And ego can then come across as more abrasive, more arrogant. Honestly, ego's about self-preservation. There's nothing wrong with that. It just depends on, do you really know what it's trying to preserve? And is that worthy? Ego, on the other hand, wants to be right and be seen as a certain way that may not be true. What would your life be like and your business if you were to listen to that inner, intuitive David voice? What if that soft voice in there was actually a brave and amazing part of you as a leader that was wanting to come out to get the right thing done, to get the great result without a lot of pomp and ceremony, without a lot of flash, and really leave the kind of legacy in your business, in your personal life, as a parent, as a friend, a sibling, whatever it is, by being more of that David energy. Leave me a comment on my blog. I'd love to hear about your experience of intuition versus ego in this classic David and Goliath. I think the greatest moments in anyone's lives are those David moments when they have come up against themselves or an external force, but come up against them in a way that was authentic and vulnerable and tremendously powerful at the same time.